Hi, all. Welcome to yet another cool podcast series where we discuss global tech adoption trends with global tech leaders. And today we have wonderful guest, a very special guest with us, Mr. Rajendran Dandapani, who is director at Zoho Corp. Welcome, Rajendran. Thank you so much for taking out time. Let me start with a brief introduction about you to our audience, Rajendran. So he is, like I mentioned, he's a director at Zoho Corp. He comes from the founding team at Zoho. He is president at the Zoho Learning School. He's a tech evangelist, and he's leading mobile development at Zoho with his product used by 130 million plus customers. So let's hear more about Zoho from Rajendran. Let's welcome Rajendran.
Thank you. Thank you for this invitation.
Wonderful. So I have shared a very brief introduction about you, and everyone knows about Zoho, especially recently when the IT minister has promoted your products. So let's start with your career journey. I know you're dropout of IIT Madras. So let's start with your career journey, Rajendran, and your current role at Zoho.
Right. Okay, probably you did a little Googling about my name and you latched on to the word dropout and immediately nice, interesting, romantic ideas about a person choosing to strike out on their own, disregarding the conventional pathways of a traditional education, wanting to do strike out on their own path. Nothing of that sort.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what actually happened was I screwed around. I got into IIT. It was a prestigious institution. It still is. And it was a momentous occasion for me, a pinnacle in my academic journey. But I completely lost track of my path, what I wanted to do, why I was actually there. I got distracted. Thankfully, though, while you could easily get distracted by money, by fame, by drugs and alcohol, and the easier and probably the momentary pleasures that one typically falls into, I was distracted by computers. So I was an electronics and electrical engineering student and I got distracted into computer programming. So while I should have been studying for my feedback loop exams, I was writing code in Fortran, then Pascal, then C, then C++, then Java. So I went that whole route. But eventually, the organization that the academic institution that IIT was, it woke up and it brought a black and white view to what I was doing. It asked me, hey, I had given you a few things to do. What have you done? And I tried showing I have done this instead, but they weren't ready for it. And no academic institution would be ready for such a flexible, fungible kind of integration. And so they said, enough is enough, leave. So I am not an opt out or a dropout, I am a kick out.
Okay, that's a
I
wonderful
didn't
word that you
do,
coined.
yeah, I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Okay.
Thankfully, though, whatever I ended up learning and doing continues to assist me in my ongoing journey. It also shaped me and my own organization at Zoho to give people a second chance, to celebrate human endeavor in whatever domain,
Okay.
assist them and be the mentor rather than the teacher or the tormentor. Yeah. So that
Wonderful.
assisted me.
No, absolutely, Rajendran. Though you said that we are obliged by the university, but don't you think that you were right because you kicked off? I mean, that's the reason you have built such wonderful products here, and you just listen to your heart.
Again, like I said, listening to your heart is one of those nice romantic terms people like to throw around. Yeah. I was, most startup entrepreneurs say that. They say, I was in a happy job. I was all well settled, but something deep inside me kept gnawing at me, kept me awake. And then I listened to my heart and I plunged into this. Yeah, but 99 out of 100 people who take that plunge do not succeed. We don't hear about them.
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
I don't know if this interview is going to motivate somebody to do something like I ended up doing. Bad interview.
Okay.
Yes. So instead, what I would like to let the viewers take away from
Hmm,
this interaction, if anything, is stamina.
hmm,
When you choose something, like you said, listen to your heart. Don't just listen to your heart, pour your heart into it. There is no plan B. This is your be all, this is your end all. Put your last penny, your last
hmm,
drop of blood and sweat into it. That I can boldly, courageously, proudly claim I did. I continue to do.
hmm,
So, as long as, uh, irrespective of whether the thing you are believing in is right or wrong, if you believe in it completely,
hmm.
things have a strange way of shaping around you
Hmm.
and assisting you in that path. So, to
Sure.
that extent, follow your heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely true. I mean, I don't want to go very deep into that. Otherwise, it will just dilute, the purpose, Rajendran. So, your current role at Zoho, Rajendran, could you, share something about, current role at Zoho?
Yeah. So I am a generalist. I have always been a generalist by nature. And right now I juggle multiple roles in the company.
Yeah.
I Yes, like you pointed out, I head a mobile development team. But mobile development is not something to really set apart or add as an especially interesting additional role. It used to be when I
Hmm.
started mobile development in the company, I was one of two teams. Everybody else was in the SaaS running in a browser world.
Hmm.
And along came Steve Jobs, and soon after, Android. And we wanted to create the same experience of working online, move it into a device on the palm of your hand.
Hmm.
So that transition, I am so happy that I had a small role to play in that
Absolutely.
aspect. But yes, I continue to do the heading of the mobile development team.
Hmm.
And the other role I play is I head Zoho Schools of Learning.
Yeah.
You might have heard of it. It is a meaningful alternative. It's 22 years old now.
Hmm.
Conventional college education is probably not doing all that it claims to do in preparing a student to be ready, to be professionally prepared for what waits for him or her in the job. We thought we could take a counter view to the whole thing, try some experiments, create an immersive environment, and provide contextual learning. So we have been doing that, and I continue to teach. In fact, a couple
Yeah.
of hours ago, I was with our students
Oh,
teaching them. Yes.
wonderful. Wonderful.
The third thing I do is I represent the company at events. I speak. I am
Hmm.
a, you could say I am an inveterate speaker.
In
So
fact, we met
I
at Tech Sparks when you were one of the keynote
oh, that's
speakers.
where we met. Yes. So I grab every opportunity to speak, to talk
Hmm.
about the amazing products we have built
Yeah.
and the underlying culture, the humans that built that product.
Hmm.
So I am very happy to spread the gospel, you could say.
Wonderful, wonderful, Rajendran. Rajendran, can I ask this to you, about the early days of Zoho? Because you are from the founding team and you have seen the early days at Zoho. So, it started with a handful of products, right? And now, of course, you have global customers and, like I mentioned, you have 130 million plus users in your mobile product. But how was the early days, Rajendran? Did you have, SMB or the small, how was the customer base? Were you already focused into the enterprise grade customer base?
Okay. The early days of Zoho did not even have Zoho. So Zoho is our third pivot. The first thing that we were building is software that would run inside printers, inside routers, inside firewall devices, software that managed hardware. That is what we were. So if a printer ran out of ink and it threw an alarm, the green light became a red light, it was because of our software. That is where we started life. And did we already have plans? Did we already have mid-sized or large customers? Of course not. We were just starting out, and some of our competitors were the biggest in the game, like Cisco, for example. We were one of the very few companies in India which chose to not take the beaten path. We said there are enough companies doing nameless, white labeled, body shopping, service oriented work and selling code and getting money for companies worldwide. We didn't want to be yet another service based company like Infosys or TCS or Wipro. There were enough big ones. We were the IT hub of the world. We continue to be perhaps, but we said, let's do something that we can be truly proud of. We can put our name on it. Made in India, made for the world became our rallying call. The dream was big, but we didn't have customers who would immediately welcome us into the game. So we started doing anything that came to us as work.
Okay.
We did work for HP. We did work for Fuji Xerox. We
Okay.
did work for some companies in Europe. Um, we did work for IIT Madras. What gave us the launch pad at that time
Yeah.
was we were a small team, but we were all united by some of our philosophies. We said we will not take external investment. We will not acquire anybody to grow fast. We will not set up office in a steel and glass skyscraper in Bengaluru, for example. We will not regard paper credentials as the only way to judge human potential. We will not distinguish between a person who speaks broken English but writes amazing code and another person who is the nice, svelte package. So these united us. We were as diverse as you can actually say. Some people had returned from abroad, some were just coming out of college, some were entrepreneurs who quit their initial idea and they said they would like to work with us instead. Some women, some men, some kickouts, like you pointed out. Yeah. So a motley crowd, but they were united by these fundamental philosophical pillars. And that's, I think, an important reason why they continue to stick together. This company today is so unlike the company it was in 2000, in
Hmm.
1998, 99.
Hmm.
But when you dig under the surface and look for the DNA, the strands still speak the same truth.
But don't you think, Rajendran, as you said, you were competing against, big companies. Then why did you still didn't go for funding and you know acquisition was maybe later, but why you didn't go for the funding, Rajendran?
So you could even put it out as okay, I'll give you two reasons why. The first reason is we were all nice middle class South Indian folks. Okay. And South India, probably, I'm nothing to be proud about that quality in South Indians, but they underplay. They are capable of so much more, but they don't beat the drum. Yeah. They will let the work speak for it. They won't go and bombastically, proudly parade their ability.
Okay.
There is this north-south difference itself. I have seen that. In the north, they have the certain amount of uh, yeah,
Confidence.
yeah, that panache. Yeah, so we see that, and way back in 98, 99, probably this impacted us, and probably it even kept us from dreaming too big too fast. I remember Sridhar, the founder, telling me, I vividly remember that,
Mm-hmm.
telling me that right now, putting food on the table, that is our goal. What do we do to put food on the table? How do we pay salaries? Next month. So the if only we grow 10x today, it will bring 100x revenue. Was not the mathematics we were interested in.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
But
the other thing, the other aspect is Sridhar was also deeply involved in nation building. He wanted to impact society. He didn't want to be the largest company out of India. Instead, he wanted many such companies out of India. So
hmm,
when your mentality, when your mindset is about nation building, you do not go the capitalistic, let me make a quick buck at the expense of everybody else kind of approach. So the second thing could also be, why did we take on the giants?
yeah,
Could also be the famous story of David and Goliath in the Bible. So everybody else runs away when they see this 9 foot giant coming. How can I fight with him? He's so big. And David is supposed to have said, he's so big. How can I miss him? If I throw a stone at him, even if I am not accurate, it'll hit him somewhere. So, this mindset change comes only for people who haven't experienced pain, who haven't experienced failure, who are too young to know
hmm,
better. Yeah. So, when there is a cow and a calf at the crossroads of a highway, the cow will wait because it knows
if it
lorries,
goes.
yeah, but the calf will bound, will
Hmm,
just run because they don't know any better. So many of the things we did at that time,
okay.
I don't know if we would have the guts to do now.
Oh,
But at that time, we were a young, yuppie, maverick group. And we said, so what if you're big? You will find it very hard to turn around because you're big. You have inertia. I'm small. I can bet the whole team on this. I can run 10 experiments. I have nothing to lose. That is the classic startup mentality today. So we were a startup before startups became famous, way back in 98.
absolutely, absolutely, Rajendran. I'm very happy, actually. I'm feeling very happy to interviewing you right now. Somebody from Zoho, from the founding team, with such humble beginning. But you'd shared about that maverick phase. Could you share some of the interesting projects that you took by that time, which were a little risky, but eventually which landed up to good enterprise grade, which where you were going up in the ladder, Rajendran?
Okay. So it's the Zoho birth story itself. Um, a story changes in its retelling, and some company names and some aspects that you can um, connect and do some journalistic detective work, I will have to change. But the story, the rough story of it, I will surely tell you. We were AdventNet at that time, and we were building software for IT teams.
Hmm. Hmm.
Every company had a lot of hardware, and those hardware was being used by all the employees, and
Yeah.
we were providing software for the IT team who would remotely monitor networks and firewalls, and remotely install software in Windows machines, Linux machines. Macs weren't that famous at that time. So this was our basic bread and butter work.
Okay.
AdventNet, it was called. Today, much of what we were doing as AdventNet is available as Manage Engine. The Manage Engine suite of products from Zoho Corp have their lineage all the way back to AdventNet days, 2000, 2001, 2002. But an interesting thing happened during that time. We were doing software service to a client in Europe, and we were having 100% team, and we were charging them for man hours, the typical service
Yeah.
company approach, and they were giving us work to do in a telecom giant, and we were doing the work. There was a project manager, there was a team leader, there was Sridhar. At that time, he was in the US. There was a COO here, his younger brother. He was managing it in India. Unhappiness started creeping in the team because of the extreme pressure being put by that company. I am
Okay.
paying you. There is an SLA. Obey the SLA. Burn the midnight oil if you want. I want it ready by Monday morning. That sort of, this is exactly what we tried to run away from. We wanted to run towards products because we were running away from this external pressure, the work ethic of doing something that you already know perfectly well. No, that's not interesting. You want to do something that you don't know about imperfectly 100 times and build something beautiful in its own time. So, but this pressure started bearing down on us, and employee morale went down. And Sridhar was observing this, and we kept having email interactions with that customer.
Yeah.
And push came to shove. And one day, Sridhar said, "Hey, what are you going to penalize us with if we just discontinue? Sorry, thank you. Enough, done." So that customer was one of our biggest cash cows at that time. But he put employee satisfaction above and ahead of everything else and said, enough is enough, take leave. What do we do now? And they penalized us and we paid the fine. But we suddenly had 100 amazing employees ready to do something next. Typically, software services company would bench the people or lay them off. But such a concept never even occurred to the founders here. And at that time, thankfully, Web 2.0 was taking off. Web 2.0, as in, here is a web that you don't need to just consume. Here is a web where you can create for. YouTube became
YouTube.
famous.
Yeah.
Blogger became famous. Jotspot became famous. So websites started coming which were beyond just portals of content. Websites came and said, hey, you can create stuff. You can create websites. You can create content engines. You can dynamically reprogram a website, bring content periodically, and all that. And we said, great, why don't we help the rest of the world create better content using tools we build?
Okay.
This is the classic approach of if you are in the California gold rush, one approach would be to search for gold. The other approach would be to sell shovels and crowbars. Even if you don't find gold, you will find people who are finding gold,
Right.
and you will make money. So we started building app after app. The first app we built was Zoho Writer.
Okay.
We immediately set Microsoft Word as our competitors. Same mentality. David Goliath, he's the big guy. Let's aim for him. Yeah. So we called it the triple E strategy. We emulate, we shamelessly copy,
Okay.
and then we extend, we build something better,
Okay.
and then exterminate. Yeah, put that other company out of business because they are fleecing the customer because they had a monopoly till now. This is not our strategy. This was Microsoft's own strategy when it started its game.
Okay.
So we said, thank you. That was a good playbook. We will try it now.
For you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when that customer disengagement happened
Yeah.
and the Zoho writer experiment started,
Yeah.
we reaped the benefits of the bold, courageous leap of faith
Hmm.
into the unknown and keeping things small. Just seven people started writing Zoho writer. So we were able to conduct a lot of experiments. We had the 80% cash cow still pumping money,
Okay.
and the 20% we were ready to take a loss on. Zoho as a unit for a very long time, just like Google's organic search continues to be a loss making engine. It is the AdWords that is giving them the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had that advantage. We kept our expenses low. We kept experimenting, iterating fast, and that bore rewards, I would say.
Wonderful, Rajendran. So, still you were, competing against Microsoft Word, right? Um, can you take us through one, interesting enterprise or, mid-market customer when you were in this, innovative phase where you were ready to make the losses, but still you were competing against Microsoft Word? Could you take us through one interesting customer journey, Rajendran?
Okay, I will probably.
Maybe to add more, where you replaced Microsoft. Was there any case where you
Uh,
replaced where
see,
they replaced?
I have nothing against Microsoft. I love their founder, Bill Gates. I worship some of the wonderful user experiences they brought way back in 3.1, 95, 98, and so on. Um, and Satya Nadella, all the way till Satya Nadella. So, full respect to what they are doing. But let's take an example. We work with the Indian government today,
Hmm.
and there are quite a few ministries and quite a few defense forces that work with us. You might have even heard about them in social media and
Yeah,
articles and so on.
IT Minister Ashwini,
All of
Vaidya.
them,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And you asked about an interesting experience when you were dealing with big enterprises. This is one of the biggest enterprises after all. We had all these certifications, security certifications, privacy, compliance certificates, and so on. And we were proud that we had not been hacked into. We were certified as we had a red team, a blue team, a black team, and we had done penetration testing. We were so proud of all that. And this team had come all the way from Delhi and Hyderabad, and they were very happy to work with us. And we were parading all our labels, saying we had six data centers, we had a disaster recovery and security team working round the clock. Uh, Mean time between failure was so high, and nobody had really, there had never been a leak of customer data. All that they were putting up slide after slide. And that was when a lady who was one of the senior people on the other side, all this is fine, but Pakistan has not been interested in you till now, she said. And that one sentence, that one word, gave us the sense of responsibility. It sent a little shiver up our spine because this is a different ballgame. Working with customers, small, medium sized enterprises versus working
With
for
the
a
government.
government
Yeah, absolutely.
where life and death and freedom, sovereignty matters. So that was a very good wake up call, I would say. And of course, customers like them help us strengthen all our resources, all our attack surfaces. And it really did, because next time when a bank came along and said we had financially very sensitive data,
Yeah.
customer data, and said, we said, thank you, but
We
The
have a go.
PMO, yeah, the PMO runs on this. And
Yeah.
so we have the right locking mechanism, we have the
Hmm.
right data recovery, we have the right contingency plans in place. So that was an interesting moment, I would say.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Rajendran. I mean, what is the difference? I mean, you would have worked with the enterprises and versus working with the government. So far, what are maybe can I ask you what are the challenges you faced and how did you overcome it? And again, what
Yeah.
were some of the interesting areas or the comfort that you got from the government? Were you
Okay.
able to get more BFSI logos after?
Uh, I wouldn't say working with the government helped us in getting more logos and so on. But
Okay.
yes, it is really a feather in our cap. I agree. But I will probably use this opportunity, this question you asked me, to debunk some myths about government. Yeah.
Okay.
So, even personally speaking, um, I considered the government to be a very large animal, but a very slow animal, mired in bureaucracy, paperwork,
Yeah. Yeah.
duplicate,
That's how we
triplicate.
understand.
Yeah, not at all true.
Is it? Okay.
They work faster, they work harder. Some of the longest meetings we had, a teleconference between three locations and 20 people, all on the call, decisions being taken on the call, would
Oh.
happen on a Saturday evening. On a Saturday evening, Zoho doesn't work on Saturdays. They would be on the call, they would be rushing towards a deadline, and they would want that. And this may sound like empty praise I'm throwing on the government, but I think some truths need to be told. The government really felt for the people, it cared for the people. Some of the questions they asked, some of the requirements they had, where they went beyond what Zoho's at that time the current capability was, some of the features they wanted us to build. When we work backwards and connect the dots, we realize they are asking this because they have embraced zero trust. They don't trust even their own most trustworthy people. They trust the process, they trust the system, they don't trust human beings. And that's the way it should be. So when we see the decisions they take and the directions they give come from a good place,
Hmm.
the heart is in the right place. We were able to feel that. And probably that's why the government worked with us because we feel we do the same with our customers and our employees. Because after all, if you win a deal while competing against the likes of Google and Microsoft, it is not just on terms of technology, how many centers, data centers you have, how many servers you will provide us, how scalable it is, because those numbers can be matched. Beyond that, what is the value that you live by? What would you rather die than violate? I think those things matter.
Which are the different applications that, if I'm just a little curious, if I'm filing my GST, is that what Zoho has built, or Zoho is more into the internal systems at the government? Which are this? I mean,
For
I'm
the for the government right now, not every government agency, but we are getting there slowly, perhaps. But for the government right now, it is documents in the cloud,
okay.
email, instant messaging, video conferencing, project management. So basically, all these are your lowest common denominator in any office.
Hmm.
So inter-office memos, for example, used to
Hmm.
be on WhatsApp,
Hmm.
and insecure and totally fragmented. So we are providing alternative solutions where these can be channelized. They don't exist in silos. AI can be sovereign AI, where the boundary of the nation is not crossed. The data still remains. There is no training that happens on your data in some other location's AI. So these decisions were taken.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, I mean, sovereignty is that's a different topic altogether. It can take the entire. But let me, ask this question, Rajendran. See, you're so versatile, right? And at one end, you said that you are taking the risk of doing the innovation, though it is loss making. So how are you need of the speed, right? How are you managing balancing the innovation at the same time, trust, reliability, security, and yeah, I mean, they can reach you anytime, right? So how are you balancing all this, Rajendra?
Um, um, Sridhar has a phrase he uses once in a while when talking to us. Mani Vembu, the new CEO who took over 2 years ago, he uses this phrase too. Management through benign neglect. Yeah.
Can you
So,
elaborate?
yeah. So there is micromanagement. There is management by reports and evaluation and interviews. There is management by walking around, talking,
Yeah,
interviewing, checking everything. There is management through dashboards. Management through benign neglect is there are two words there.
yeah,
Neglect is let you do what you want to do,
yeah,
trust you enough. Benign is I am not shirking from my duty by letting you do what you want to do. I consider it my duty to let you do what you want to do. But there are guardrails.
yeah,
The budget, for example, the time you will take before you show results, for example, the freedom you have to succeed or fail in this experiment, for example, these are provided. There are some strict lines you cannot cross. For
hmm,
example, working with customer data. Not even an employee has access to the real data. Yeah? For example, cross selling a product inside another product or harvesting user data if while giving a free version of a product, which is something Google, for example, OpenAI, for example, does every day. So these are, for example, never advertising using ads as a
hmm,
source of income.
okay,
So these are all strict no nos. You simply cannot violate. But within this loose framework, we allow internal experimentation. Zoho runs on Zoho. We have 40, 50, 55 products out there in
yeah,
the open. But actually, we have had 400 products. You don't get to hear about them. I
hmm,
myself have built and not launched a dozen products. But these products help the other existing products. Some of them become modules. Some of them, by demonstrating that they will fail, they have saved other products from treading in the wrong direction.
hmm, hmm,
We do not use any third party software.
hmm,
Zoom, for example, I have
hmm,
never paid a single dollar to Zoom.
hmm.
We use Zoho Meeting.
Okay.
We have not installed Microsoft Office in any computer because we have our own writer, sheet, and show, which
Hmm.
is the Word, Excel, and PowerPoint of the Microsoft world.
And recently you launched Aratai
All
also
right,
instead
time.
of,
We
yeah,
have ULA, a browser.
yeah.
An operating system is coming soon. Why do we do all this? We want to maintain that stack because only when you have the whole stack, you can talk about just like Apple. Apple owns the stack all the way from the silicon to the OS to the apps that run. And that is why they are able to say privacy,
Hmm.
privacy first.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you can't. So why do we do all this? When we get started, our products suck. They are so bad at it. But because we have an internal understanding, an agreement saying, hey, every day we will use this email tool.
Okay. You yourself when you're
Yes,
using.
Because we eat our own dog food, it's bound to get better.
Absolutely.
Internally, we have forums where anonymously people can come and bash products. A forum called Zoho on Zoho.
Wow.
So people's products are shot in public. People criticize, complain, wearing a mask. You won't even know who said that. But you're out there listening to everybody because these are friends. These mean well. But when you go out into the world,
Hmm.
there are people waiting to mock at you, waiting to bring you down. So, where do you want to bleed? Out there in the world or right here in a friendly playground? So, these are ways that we try to keep the experimentation boiling
Hmm.
while ensuring the ship is steady.
Wonderful.
Yes. If you want to give a biological metaphor to this, you could look at us as a huge whale steadily plying the ocean.
Hmm.
But if you go near the whale, there'll be some 50 fish biting at the whale's skin,
Hmm.
floating near the mouth of the whale,
Hmm.
uh, in the tailwind of the whale. Why? It is an ecosystem.
Now you are become that. You are becoming
Yes,
that big person.
correct. Sometimes the whale follows the direction given by the little fish
Hmm.
because it senses some things fast.
Hmm.
Sometimes the whale protects the little fish.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this symbiotic relationship is something that perhaps I would give as an example.
Absolutely. Slightly shifting the gear now. Everyone is talking about AI, agentic AI. What is your take on this? Is agentic AI going to be the future, or still, the ERP and CRM are going to be the center of the enterprise software, Rajendran?
The way I would look at it is the way we have always looked at trends, tech trends. We are not trend hoppers. We won't immediately drop whatever we are doing and jump onto the next wave. There are companies that do that. There are companies that succeed by doing that.
Hmm.
But our skill has always been we will go underwater.
Yeah.
We will hold our breath for a while. We will see how the waves come.
Hmm.
We will measure the wavelength. We will see the height of the wave. And once after going underwater, we will go up and we will float and we will surf the wave. That has always been our approach. Even in the mobile wave, that's how we did it. Even in the SaaS wave, that's how we did it. But we have quite confidently and quite successfully trodden those waters. With respect to AI, there are some questions out there that are still unresolved. One is, for example, sovereignty. The other is the cost effectiveness and the sustainability of the whole training and inference that's happening, um, the, the, the skyrocketing value of the cost that's going into all AI. There seems to be a mad rush towards providing a more and more intelligent model, while we are not doing enough with the intelligence we already have.
Have. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
We do not need a super intelligent LLM or an agentic workflow to solve some of the obvious, silly, simple workflow questions that still plague today's products. So I would call that right sizing. So
Okay.
in Zoho, for example, we are not in the customer AI game.
Hmm.
Let Google and Apple and Microsoft and OpenAI fight it out. What we are concerned about, what we are thrilled about, is can we bring similar AI to the workplace?
Hmm.
I am in a company. Can I provide an agent, an always on, floating on the right bottom agent? Just like you use ChatGPT to, hey, here is the photo of my fridge. What can I cook tomorrow? That sort of chatty interface. Hey, these are my customers, and that is the conference I'm going to. And these competitors are also pitching there. What do you think should be my strategy?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it will do the cross analysis with your existing CRM database, with your
Hmm.
existing people database, with your existing lead structure, and provide you a hyper customized recommendation. Yeah?
Got
We
it.
don't want you to outsource your intelligence to us, your thinking to us. We
Hmm.
want to be a co intelligence. You are smart. Unfortunately, you are slow.
You
So
are
that's
smart
taking,
and
yes,
you are smart, and how do you make the tool smart and work for you?
correct. Can I close the gap on your forgetfulness? You're forgetful, but I can remind you.
Hmm.
You are not probably able to draw a connection between distant dots,
Hmm.
but I can see that distant dots and I can provide you insights.
Hmm.
But you must be the human in the loop and you must take the decision, and it
Yes.
should be truly human. Can
Hmm.
we provide that?
Wonderful.
So that is our take. So of course we will do the same things that every company does. We will, in our customer support software, for example, we will provide AI agents who
Hmm.
can handle a call. In fact, they can even do a voice call with an agent. We will do
Hmm.
that. In our email service, we will provide an agent which can auto respond to your email. Anybody
Hmm.
sends you an email, you can auto respond, customized in your language, in your style.
Hmm.
But we will continue to warn,
Hmm.
this is not you.
Hmm.
This is not what you got into business for. This is the juicy bit. This is the most interesting bit. So retain that humanity. We are here to do the background. We call it the three Ds: the dangerous, the dirty, and the dreary, the
Okay.
boring, the dull and boring work.
Done.
Give
Hmm.
me, I will do it. The dangerous work, give me. And the dirty work, give me. But don't be a fool and give me all the interesting work, because
Hmm.
that's what you came into this game for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
is our take.
Wonderful, wonderfully put, Rajani. Now we are coming to the end of the podcast, where it will
Oh,
be yeah, the rapid fire questions. So I'll be asking few questions, and you can answer it a little bit promptly, maybe in one words or maybe in the sentences. Sure. So let's
okay.
start. One word that defines Zoho's culture.
People.
Okay.
It's about
Okay.
the people.
Okay. A product feature you are really most proud of at Zoho.
It We have an anonymous option in our intranet. We have an intranet tool, and there a truly anonymous option. Anybody can ask a question to the CEO in the town hall. We are
Okay.
so proud of that feature. We use it often internally. Unfortunately, many of our customers ask us, their first question is, how do I turn it off? Because they are not gutsy enough to face that anonymous question.
Okay. But don't you think if so many questions will come to the CEO, it will dilute his.
AI, AI will summarize. AI will pick the most interesting one. But only when the emperor stands ready to take a bullet does trust really takes birth.
Sure. And one technical technology trend you think that currently is overhyped.
Overhyped,
Yeah.
I would say all this talk about super intelligence and AGI, general intelligence, I think is overhyped. And even if we are capable of unleashing it
Hmm.
into humanity, we don't need it. That is my personal take.
You already mentioned, about
Yeah.
how, I mean, the three Ds that you
Yes.
mentioned.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you had a magic wand and if you had to solve one enterprise software problem overnight, what it would be?
I don't know if it will really help if I solve it overnight, because too much of a good thing is also dangerous. But what I would want to do every enterprise, every organization, large or small, to consciously look at doing is break down the walls that are holding databases from talking to each other. So there is a leave database in your people software,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a billing database in your project software.
Mm-hmm.
But this billing database cannot talk to the leave database and subtract the number of days this person was absent. Then you have a huge problem in your hand.
Mm.
Your CRM should be able to talk to your email. Your presentation software should be able to talk to your. Uh,
Sales.
yes,
Mm.
that is very, very important. So, breaking down silos, magic wand, one swish of it, all data should be uniformly formatted, able to talk to all other data.
Absolutely. And last rapid fire, one leader that you, tech leader or any leader that you really admire.
People who know me know that I am a big, big, big diehard fan of Seth Godin. Seth
Okay.
Godin is an author, is a blogger, a
Okay.
visionary thinker, and you can pick. He has probably written 9,000 blog posts or something till now.
Oh,
He
wonderful.
writes once a day. And the beauty of his blogging is you can pick any blog post from any of the last 8, 9, 10, 15 years, and they will still ring true because it is about the human nature. It is about what makes stories interesting to tell. It is about what makes people buy a service. That hasn't changed over all these years. So
Is it?
he,
Okay.
yeah, so he touches upon that innate nature of
Mhm.
human beings. And I love and I follow every letter that he has written. I want to read someday.
Wonderful, wonderful, Rajendran. And lastly, I would like to conclude one advice to the founders out there, tech aspiring leaders out there, from you, Rajendran.
Swami Vivekananda once said, he who knows, he said, he who wants to command should first know how to follow. Too many founders, at least the ones that I have met and the ones who were my teammates and decided to strike off and start something of their own, too many people, they want to start something for all the wrong reasons. One of them being, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to take salary from somebody. So these are not acceptable reasons. These reasons typically are doomed to fail. You should instead want to solve a personal problem, put a dent in the universe, have a disproportionate impact on society. As a side effect, money should come in. That is how you should look at it. The goal should not be make money. The goal should not be get rich fast. And learn how to obey, learn how to take orders. Because at the end of the day, you may run away from your previous boss, but
But
you're running towards your next customer.
once you're a consultant, you're going to have 10 bosses.
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
every customer becomes your boss.
Yeah.
So if you don't learn how to obey here, you're going to have a very tough time doing that thing you wanted to do.
Absolutely. It was really pleasure, hosting you, Rajendran. I
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed the entire podcast. Thank you so much for taking out time. I look forward to be in touch with you
Thanks
once
a lot.
again.